2023 has certainly been a busy year for Sonic the Hedgehog with several games and a lot of interesting news. This really shows us how popular the franchise is right now. I'm going to do a brief review of everything we got in 2023 as well as what we can expect in 2024. And if you love Sonic, subscribe right now. We all know that Sonic Frontiers was rushed, and it was revealed that there would be a series of 3 free DLC updates to make some massive improvements and make the game more relevant for longer. On March 22nd, we received Update 1, which includes a jukebox where you can collect various Sonic songs from around the 5 islands and can listen to them anywhere in the open world. There is also a photo mode, which makes a lot of fun because there's almost unlimited in the locations for settings. You can take photos, making for some very dynamic and realistic looking photos. There was also a cyberspace challenge where you can race through all the cyberspace levels to get the best possible ranking, and a open world boss rush where you can fight all the enemies types as fast as possible. This is really fun because it challenges yourself to see how fast you can beat each of the enemy types to get the best possible ranking. On March 31st, we got a surprise release of a new Sonic game. This was called The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. The story involves Sonic's friends celebrating Amy's birthday on a train, but Sonic is found to be unconscious and everyone thinks he was murdered. Ultimately, you gather evidence to see who did it, and in the end, Sonic wakes up suggesting that he only hit his head really hard. This is more of a murder mystery style rather than a traditional Sonic game, and a lot of fun. On June 23rd, Sonic Origins received a Plus version, which includes a physical copy and adds 12 Game Gear games to the collection of games. Also on June 23rd, Sonic Frontiers received the second update. It mainly changes the aesthetic of the open world for Sonic's birthday. There's also a series of open world challenges on each island that you need to get an S rank on all of them in order to unlock the spin dash, which is extremely hard to do. And lastly, they added new harder platforms to find the new Master Coco. On July 13th, we received the second season of Sonic Prime. This is a vast improvement to the show, especially because Sonic is far less cringe and annoying and starts to take responsibility for his actions. It starts with Sonic and Shadow fighting, but they eventually realize that they have to work together in order to save the Shadow Space. Most of the episodes is Sonic fighting the Chaos Council in various worlds in order to find the Prism Shards, and we are constantly reintroduced to variants of Sonic's friends. We also meet one of the most interesting characters yet, being Chaos Sonic, which is like a version of Metal Sonic. In the last episode, Sonic gets blasted with Prism Energy and defeats the Chaos Council and giant Dr. Eggman robot. However, the show ends with a cliffhanger where Nine wants to create a better world rather than restoring reality, and he steals all the Prism Shards and goes through the portal. Season 2 was very action-packed and full of hype and excitement, and it's really surprising that Nine turns out to be a villain rather than Sonic's friend. On September 29th, Sonic Frontiers received its third update, which is by far its most ambitious and best update by adding a new story and more playable characters. On an alternative version of Oranos Island, rather than collecting the 7 Chaos Emeralds like you did in the other islands, you have to climb 6 tall towers, and one of the best aspects of this update is that Tails, Knuckles, and Amy are all playable and each have their own mission in addition to Sonic, and it's really fun that these characters can be all leveled up with new abilities, especially Tails when he flies around the island with ease. This game also is more of an adventure feel. The problem though with this update is the platforming, and the Master Coco Trail is super hard to beat, but once you do, you will be greatly rewarded with a much improved final boss fight. This update makes fighting the end so much better and gives the game the ending that it truly deserves. On October 17th, we got a surprise release of a new Sonic game. This was called Sonic Superstars. This 2D classic Sonic game is largely based on early Sonic games of the 1990s and Sonic Mania. It contains 11 levels, with most of them being brand new level design and are very creative. This game is based on Kristen Whitehead's retro engine, which gives its physics and momentums that is almost the same as Sonic Mania. The game brings back Fang the Hunter as well as introducing a new character named Trip. Speaking of characters, you can play as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and Trip. Each of them have their own unique skill set. One of the downsides is that there are too many boss fights and they are too hard. One of the best things about the game is the Emerald powers, which can help you in various situations, and the level design is good with a lot of replayability and is a really fun Sonic game. Throughout the year, we had many Sonic Symphonies as well as many editions of the Sonic IDW comics and tons of Sonic merchandise. On December 5th, we received the surprise release of a new Sonic game being called Sonic Dream Team. It involves Dr. Eggman kidnapping Cream, and Sonic and friends go into her dream to save her. It introduces Adam the Dream Weaver as well as the Revere, which can be used to turn dreams into reality. This is the most ambitious Sonic mobile game yet. One downside of the game is that it's exclusive to Apple Arcade and the level aesthetic looks like Fall Guys. On the good side, the physics are really good and is a really fun Sonic game. Lastly, on December 6th, Sonic Frontiers received a surprise 4th update. This mostly was related to bug fixes and fixed Knuckles' glide and and made attacks more powerful. It also made platforming and Master Coco trials easier. When looking ahead to 2024, there are several confirmed projects so far. On January 11th, we will get the third and likely last season of Sonic Prime, which is scheduled to be released. We know that 9 is likely to be the main enemy to Sonic, and it should be interesting to see how Sonic is able to fix the Paradox Prism and restore reality. In the teaser trailer, he did say Sonic will be forced to make the ultimate sacrifice for his friends and enemies alike. Due to its incredible success, we know that the Sonic Symphony will expand with several more shows from April through July. There will be many more editions of the Sonic IDW comics and tons of Sonic merchandise. As for the games, the only confirmed Sonic game to be released is the Sonic Mania mobile port on Netflix Games. There was also a Sega management meeting document that lists several new titles for mobile that are in development, and for mainline Sonic games there's a lot of leaks, but nothing has been confirmed yet. We know that the Paramount Plus Knuckles spin-off series is going to be released sometime early in the year. Other than the picture of the clapperboard as well as a list of various people who have worked on the show, we really know very little about this show. And by far the biggest and most exciting project will be Sonic the Hedgehog 3. The only thing we know is that it's still scheduled for a release on December 20th and that it will focus on Sonic Adventure 2 and the Shadow the Hedgehog spin-off game. There was a picture of a clapperboard and Shadow the Hedgehog that was recently showed off, and filming is underway, so I'm sure we will start to get a lot of news for this movie soon. In conclusion, 2023 was a really big year for Sonic the Hedgehog with so many projects it is hard to keep track of them all. 2024 is also starting to shape up as another big year, and I would not be surprised if more Sonic games are announced, and who knows what other kind of interesting surprises we might get soon. That's gonna do it for this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and remember, you gotta go fast!